hello to Mark Evans. He's editor-in-chief of Scuba Diver magazine and co-founder of Go Diving. So hello, Mark.
Hi, mate. Thank you for having me on the show. It's an honour.
Hi, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Like I said, thank you for having me on the show.
You're very welcome.
No, it's a real pleasure to have you on. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, and we've been quite excited to chat to you, really, and find out some of your thoughts of what's been going on and things like that. So, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'll give everyone a little bit of my background for anyone who doesn't really know me. I've been in the diving industry now for about 23 years, 24 years. I started diving when I was 10. My uncle, who was a commercial diver, threw me in the sea off of Anglesey in all his kit, and I survived. And that was it. I was hooked right from that moment. And so I started diving regularly with him and all of his crew, mostly in the North Sea, a bit of North Wales, up in Oban, things around there. And then when I was 18, I started in the world of journalism. I was a newspaper journalist. So I had the two things going in tandem. So I had basically the newspaper journalism on one side and my diving hobby on the other. And when I was 25, the two joined when I got the job as editor of Sport Diver magazine. So I was the editor at Sport Diver for nigh on 18 and a half years. And then when that magazine got closed down, because the publishing company and Paddy parted ways in the States and we were collateral damage, myself and my ad manager at the time, Ross Arnold, were like, well, everyone's been telling us we're the face of the magazine. We should do it ourselves. So we set up Rock Media and we launched Scuba Diver magazine. And that's what we've been doing for the last 3 years now. So we have Scuba Diver magazine in the UK. And then we've got Scuba Diver Australia and New Zealand, for Australia and New Zealand, obviously. And then we just launched Scuba Diver Destinations, which is a quarterly magazine that we put into the United States and Canada. Wow. So it keeps us busy, busy.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, 25 sounds quite young to be editor of a magazine. And was that kind of coincidental as well, that it was diving related, or was it?
Yeah, I mean, I was quite happily working in the newspaper world. I didn't like the pay packet because it's lousy on newspapers, but I enjoyed it. And then I just happened to see an advert for the editor position in the Press Gazette, which was like a media title that had jobs in and media news and stuff. And it did say they wanted an editor with 3 years experience. Now, I'd been editing the sports pages and other areas in the newspaper. So I did have, I've been doing it since I was 18, but I did think I'm probably younger than what they're looking for. But I thought, well, I'll apply anyway. At the time, it just said in water sports. It didn't say diving, but I can also sail and a kayak. So I thought, well, give it a go. Anyway, when they got back to me and they told me it was a diving magazine, and I went down for the interview, and it was quite a grill I have to say. I had two of them sat there just going at me like, what would you do with the magazine if you had it, etc., etc. Seemed to go all right, but obviously lots of people had applied for the position. They said, we'll let you know one way or another in a couple of weeks. So off I drove from Suffolk back up to York. And the next morning I got a phone call and they said, you're exactly what we're looking for. We'll cancel all the other interviews if you want the job. And that I was the youngest dive magazine editor in the world at that point by about 20 years. So it did ruffle some feathers when I came in, I have to say.
So you didn't even know when you applied for it was diving related. So you must have been so ecstatic to find out that it was diving related. That must have been a kind of a moment for you where you went, yes.
No, it was. I mean, like I said, I do other, I always like being out on the water and everything. I've got a rib, I've had a jet ski in the past and say kayaking and stuff, but diving is my core. And so it was just when they came through and I said, it's Scuba Diver magazine. I was like, okay. I didn't even know what Scuba Diver magazine was though at the time. Then you never saw it anywhere. I had, so they sent me some copies through the post so that I could have a look at it. And then, I was kind of prepared for what I could do. But back then, it even had black and white pages in the middle. That's how old it was.
So, I mean, you'd had 15 years experience by then as well as a diver.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, now I'm now like 47. So we won't talk too much about all that.
37, Mark.
So the thing is, that's it. So, so having, at my age, having 37 years of diving, is quite, it's quite good, really.
That's pretty phenomenal, really.
So I was very thankful for the fact that my uncle got me diving at such a young age.
We have heard a story that you've told in your younger days with your uncle, and Craig is particularly keen for you to tell us about it again.
Oh, oh I knew that one was going to come up. The diving fraternity's got to stick together.
Collaborations, I think they call it, Mark.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll wonder, Mark, how many dives have you actually done?
I hate to say it, but I haven't properly logged my dives for many a year now. But roughly, I reckon I'm probably around about 7,000 or 8,000 now. Wow. Because I mean, that's 37 years of diving, and you know, obviously 23 of them have been within the magazine world, where I'm sometimes doing anywhere from 250, 300 dives a year. So you soon start clocking them up when you're doing that many.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Wow, that's a lot.
Jim.
Okay, so best thing about scuba diving?
It's nearest you get to flying. That's the best way I describe it. Is it's the nearest you will get to flying, because you can move in 3 dimensions, and you can't do that in anything else.
Worst thing about scuba diving?
Not being able to breathe underwater, because that's the worst thing, is when you get to the end of your tank and you have to come up. Because how many times have you been on a dive and you're right in the thick of the action, and then you look and you're getting near your reserve and you've got to go up?
Yeah. And you think to yourself, if only I had gills.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So, favourite UK dive site?
Scapa Flow.
Favourite overseas dive site?
Red Sea.
Yeah, definitely.
North or south? Sudan,
actually.
Oh, that's a question we didn't have. That's ad-libbing, that is.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's Sudan. I mean, I love the Egyptian Red Sea. I love the wrecks. I love the brothers and stuff like that. But the Umbria shipwreck in Sudan, I think, is one of the world's best shipwrecks. It's amazing.
Oh, wow, that's one I've got to add to my bucket list then.
Well, that was one of the questions, but bucket list dive.
Well, believe it or not, I mean, obviously I've been very lucky. From all my years working in the industry, I have travelled extensively, and I've been all over the Caribbean, South Africa, been all over the Middle East, been Indian Ocean, and a little bit in Southeast Asia, but I haven't done that much in the Pacific. The only place I've been out there is Fiji, when I went and played with the bull sharks. So there's even though I've been to a lot of places, still got a lot of places that are on the list.
Yeah.
So I've not done the Galapagos yet, which is definitely one to do. I haven't done Cocos Island, and I'd love to do Socorro as well. So they're probably my 3 major ones for marine life. And then my big one that I want to do for Rex is Truck Lagoon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sharks or dolphins?
Sharks.
Every time.
Every time. So I'm not going to ask you your favourite wreck. You've just done that. So if you could do one last dive, and it was your final dive before you left our mortal coil, who would it be with?
I'll have to say I was doing it with my wife, because otherwise she'll kill me.
Good answer. Is she listening?
This next question, Mark, after 7,000 dives might be a bit difficult, but your most memorable dive?
Yeah, God,
tough one.
There's been a lot of quite interesting ones that have come up. Probably one of the most memorable I've had recently was the trip to Fiji I did a couple of years ago. We were on the bull shark dive there, and there was about 45 big 2.5, 3 meter bull sharks all swirling around in front of us, which was, that's exciting enough. And then about 3.5 meter tiger shark rocked up in the middle of it, and he got quite frisky, shall we say. And yeah, I made for some good photographs, but it did get quite interesting for a little bit.
Brilliant.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, that's the questions we had. The last question really was how to encourage more people to dive, but we've kind of covered that. So
yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I think that's always been the way, is get somebody else into it. It's like bring a buddy. The way I look at it is, the best way of getting people into diving is to show people how cool diving is. And the best advocates for that are divers. So, anyone who's a diver, I'd urge them to go and talk to the friends who are non-divers and try and get more people to dive.
Yeah, brilliant. Great answers. Thank you, Mark.
No worries. Appreciate it.
Yeah, cool.